Okay, everybody, welcome to the return of Smart. This is going to be a quick, well, relatively quick overview and rundown of what is available currently in Smart Phase 1. There are some things that you will notice that are missing from the mod at the moment, but everything will be coming back, most likely. First things first, however, let's talk about key bindings. As y'all remember, you had to go into a pop-up using a keybind to change your keybinds. Well, now, with Satisfactory allowing mods to have their keybinds in the default keybinds menu, that's where you will find Smart's keybinds. And there they are. You can toggle the arrows on and on. This is so you have a physical keybind on your keyboard for adjusting scaling or doing any of the other options. But you can also hold Z or X for your scaling and then scroll, so you can use your mouse instead. Spacing, I'll go through all these in detail, don't worry. You got your spacing, keybind, cycle axis for scaling in different axes or stepping in a different axis. Stagger, which used to be called twirl. I'll show you what all these do here in just a moment. But this is where you can find all your keybinds now, right here in the menu. Let's jump into the game and get to building. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about scaling. The core of Smart. You all know Zoop, where you can just go out 10 foundations in one direction. Well, as you can see, I've got some arrows floating above the hologram right now. That's from Smart. You can toggle those on and off with the one key on the numpad. So let's get to scaling. We can go hold down Z. That's your green arrow going out in that direction. X is your red arrow, which goes out that direction. And if you hold Z and X together, you now scale in the third dimension. Oh wait, there's more. Let's bring this back a little bit smaller here so we're not building anything too excessive. And one thing I should point out, it's always handy to hit the hold button. So now you can look around, the hologram stays put. But now if we come over here, press I, this is your step. So you can step the foundations along that axis. And if you want to change which axis you're stepping on, you just hit the 0 key on the numpad, and now you can step it in that direction. Or if you want, hit the 0 key again, and now you can step it in both axes. Now, let's talk about stagger, which will allow you to offset in that axis, hit 0, and then you can offset in that axis. Another thing that you can do with stagger is, instead of doing it on a horizontal plane, let's lock that in place again. Oops. Press Y for stagger, 0 for changing the axis. Go to this one, which is going to be your ZX offset. So you're working from your Z axis and moving it along the X axis. Oh, which is the red arrow. And you can move it out that way. And you can also move it along the Y axis as well. And then if we continue going vertically, we can make steps on the diagonal. We can make them wider in either direction. And if we space them out or scale them out along the x-axis, which is the red arrow, we would have to go into the next little tool in the tool bag here, and that's spacing. So hold down semicolon, and we can now start moving the foundations out in that direction. And now we have two separate staircases that are side by side. We can also move that and space them out into multiple independent staircases by hitting 0 and spacing on the y-axis. Spacing also works in a third direction. Go to the z-axis by hitting 0 again, and now you can space them up. Now, you're wondering, what is this mess up here? Well, that was me seeing just how big I could build. I don't recommend doing this. It's a resource hog and a half. But Smart does also work with buildings. You can run out yourself a line of constructors. Make sure you hold them in place so you can look around while you're in between things. You run yourself out of grid, and if we go to the Y, you can space them out far enough so that you can actually get splitters and mergers in between them. Leave a couple foundation space. Oh, and in case you're wondering, nudge does work. So if you get something a little off from where you want it, since you've already got it held in place, you can use the nudge to put things where you want it. And if you don't want to build things that close, you can shove them out. But say if you want to build a second floor at the same time, you can always space it. Whoops. Hit 0 till you get to the Z axis for the spacing and move them up however far you need in half-meter increments. And it will build. And it's not just the constructors that it works with. It works with the splitters as well. We line that up there. And then we can go out this way. Whoops. Always make sure you know what axis you're spacing. Just remember, 0 is your axis change. Oop. Hold that in place, please. Now we hold Z and X, go up, so we can get the second floor as well. Add spacing in the Z axis. And you can always just come up and verify that you are in line. I am not. Now I am. And there you go. Just built splitters. I'm not doing everything right numbers right now. Fuck it, I don't care. But you can also do the same on the other side with mergers. Building like this is a bit of a resource hog. It is better to just do a couple of things first and then scale it out later. Oops. Again, hold. And now you can scale things out. And it's much quicker. Auto connect is not working at the moment. That will be coming in the next phase of work. But you can use Smart to build out your construction. You can also use it on power poles, like I did down here, to space them out in a nice grid formation. Whoops. Come on, hold it in place. Using the default hold. Whoops. Wrong buttons. Now we're going to go spacing. Run this out here this direction. Run this one over this way. Do a nice little 3x3 grid. Power poles, and then you can just add to it in any direction you want. You will have to connect power lines between them all, but that gives you a nice grid layout to run power around. There are a few buildings, however, that Smart is not working with. Namely extractors, like your water extractors, miners, oil extractors, which I don't have on the hotbar. And for the most part, however, Smart is working with every building by default. It is also working with some modded buildings. I have been testing them. I don't have them have the mods installed at the moment, but I have been testing and they work for the most part, provided the developer has coded them in a way that Smart would recognize. Pulling from the official Smart documentation here. Supported items are foundations, production buildings, factories, storage containers, most walls, splitters, mergers, and power poles. But not the wall nubs or ceiling connections. Anything ceiling related is not functioning. Anything wall related is not functioning. Another thing I forgot to point out was, give me that. I'm going to step up to the manufacturer here. If you look over there to the left, about a third of the way down the screen, you'll see a little thing that popped up. That lets you know what you've done so far. How many things you've got built, how many holograms you've got out, and what grid format you're working with. Also, if you start using the modification keys, it will tell you what you've done. I'm just going through all the various options you could work with. Not trying to make anything specific right now. Oops. That's steps. Oh yeah. Hold please. And then spacing. Spacing. And I need to do this real quick just so you can see this final degree of spacing. All right, now that I've shown you the tools at your disposal, let me do a little bit of showing how you can use these tools. I'm going to come down here, grab the manufacturer again. Oops, manufacturer. Just going to scale this guy out here real quick. Give me a few of them. Okay, 8 of them. That looks good. Usually the size of a production line that I'm usually building here lately. And then we can grab our splitters. Set them about there. We're going to stack them first. Get 4 of them. Hold. And we're going to grab the stagger. Hit it twice. Scroll backwards. Oop. There we go. Now you see we've got a stack of splitters lined up, ready to go for feeding things into this machine. But now we can go ahead and scale that out. Total, let's just grab 2 for right now. We'll go spacing. Oops, that's steps. That's not what I want. spacing with a semicolon. There we go. And space it out. See, I need to shift over here. There we go. I can see when I get there. All right. And now we can go ahead and scale, scale this out to 8. And we have every machine ready to hook up. Build those. Switch to our lifts. Now, normally a lift can only be this height, right? That's as short as you can build it, correct? But if you place these things right, it will do a stubby lift to hit this first splitter. Can't do the first one, but you can get the second, third, and fourth. And then all you got to do is add a belt to the first one, because right now we do not have auto connect like I said before. And this also works with this with the assembler, where you only have 2. You just have to stagger it out a little bit further. Okay. And there. Space it out. Oh, whoops. Not that one. There. Like that. Again, grab your lift, spin it around, make it a stubby, and connect your belt. Just like that. Real quick and easy to do. Now, that's all I've got for you today. So, get out there, build big, just build smart.